Hello and welcome once again. This is Circulus. It's a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign setting. I am the DM Crash, and with me, as usual, is Chris. Chris, what are you playing?
Hello. I am playing Vex'Sarin, the half-elf ranger.
We also have Tom. Tom, who are you playing?
Playing Panqarim Darkstone, the Gnome Barbarian.
And with us, for the first time, we also have Matt. Matt, who are you playing?
I am playing Aristobulous Ravenscroft, human wizard.
And we also have Eric and Logan as well. They are currently AFK, so they'll be joining us shortly. In the meantime, we are going to go back in time, sort of Wayne's World flashback style, that kind of thing, and talk about what happened while Punk and Fenix were going through and killing undead farmers and stuff.
Vex wanted to get away from human beings and other people because he's very antisocial and doesn't like people, and went into the woods with Shepherd and just trained them up a little bit, helping them get stronger and teaching them the ways of killing things.
Well, he certainly had a lot of exercise because, as was referenced in last session's recording, the snow does come up to your chest level. So, and it's not quite crusted over enough for you to walk on top, even with snowshoes. So you had a very hard time going through it. The woods is obviously not an area that gets plowed out very often.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Shepherd was of a weight level where he sort of only went halfway down through the snowdrifts. And he very much burrowed through like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon. Every now and then you'd see his head pop up with a great big doggy grin on his face. He enjoyed it immensely.
Hey.
Now, were you in the woods on the Coomridge side of the wall or the Gore's side of the wall?
I was on the Coomridge side of the wall, just because we're at Coomridge Keep. The woods are just slightly northwest of the keep. Those woods.
Okay. Okay, good. So that means I have to roll less. But do give me one perception check. Just one.
Okay. That is a 15.
Okay, you don't see anything out of the ordinary other than the snow comes up to your chest level and there's a small dog, well, wolf rather, just going through the snow and having the time of his life. Now, Ari was never technically part of the caravan group of employees. So he was treated a bit differently as they entered Coomridge Keep, and there was the questioning that the rest of the party went through. Instead, Ari went straight to the main keep with a letter from his family, specifically addressed to Lord Fervid Idris, who is the current official ruler of Coomridge. Basically, it was an invitation to do a bit of trading and open up a trade route. 100 years ago or more, one of the previous members of the Idris family developed a blue rose, which is actually the symbol of Coomridge, that had some magical properties, and it was quite popular with the aristocracy in many kingdoms, which meant people with lots of gold were willing to pay lots of gold for it. But then suddenly there wasn't any trade coming from Coomridge at all, and this is a very high maintenance plant, so not many people have those outside of Coomridge anymore. So this is a chance to make a ton of money. So, Matt, as Ari enters the keep, you are met with someone who's dressed the same way as all the other guards. He has long blonde hair that goes down just a little bit past his shoulders, and he introduces himself and says that he is there to escort you to the meeting place. You've already handed in the letter, someone took it, and this person came to greet you and to escort you to another chamber. As you are walking down the various hallways, it's almost maze-like in construction. He asks you what you think of Coomridge so far.
It seems pleasant enough, good sir.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. We don't tend to get many outsiders. Many of them don't enjoy the company that is kept in the swamp.
After many years in the Wizards Academy, it's nice to see a change of pace.
He raises an eyebrow at that, but doesn't say anything else. So once you get to the meeting room, it's apparently the keep's library, or one of them. You've got, you know the scene from the animated version of Disney's Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
It's that, but a few more books.
Ari is very impressed and very interested in many of the books. Is there anyone seated at a table, or is he just left alone?
There is a table with 2 chairs, and the guard walks over to the table, and he pulls one out for you. Pulls the chair out for you, and then he goes and sits down in the other one.
Okay.
And introduces himself as Lord Ardent Idris III, the son of Lord Fervid Idris.
Okay.
You'll have... Sorry?
Go ahead.
You'll have to forgive me. My father is quite advanced in age. He doesn't tend to winter over in Coomridge anymore. The cold really gets to him. However, I have actually been in charge of managing Coomridge for a decade or more at this point. So, please, tell me in your own words. What do you have to offer in exchange for our developed flora?
Well, I'm not sure how much you are aware of my family, the Ravenscrofts, down in Adrilanka. They're a city to the south. My family deals primarily in precious metals, silver, copper, and sometimes in fancy gems. I'm sort of here to help facilitate a new resource, a new income stream, perhaps. My family is always on the lookout for money, and during my time at the Wizards College, I had read a book or two about this particular flower that you had here, and my parents believed that it could possibly be something that the Southerners would be interested in.
And we would very much be interested in a new influx of metals. We don't have a whole lot of those of mining facilities in Coomridge, so that would be a very beneficial stream for us. So, tell you what, I will have my steward draft up a proposal, and we can send it with you as you return back. Unfortunately, that will probably be, unless you have some method of teleportation, probably not until the spring. From the looks of it, this blizzard is not going to be letting up, and by the time it does, the gorge is going to be impassable. I'm sorry to say it, but you're probably going to have to be our guest for the winter.
I was expecting that. The correspondence with my family and what I have researched about your town told me that I would probably be wintered here for some time. I am not averse to such, and am willing to spend a little time here, perhaps to explore, see what assistance I might give to your town.
Splendid. Well, let me extend to you our hospitality. We'll have some rooms set up for you in the keep. And while you are here, I did notice your appreciative glance towards the books in here. You are welcome to peruse our library at your leisure.
Excellent.
Did you just do the Monty Burns finger staple thing?
Yes, I did.
I would be shocked if he didn't.
Also, if you have any... I'm sorry?
What was that?
You started singing Be Our Guest.
I was singing Be Our Guest. I've had that in my head since you talked about the library. Sorry.
He does let you know that this is the general library. That there are some areas of the keep that are designated for specific areas of research as well. So if you have a specific interest and you can't find books in this main library, it might be because those books are elsewhere. This is a family of nobles that goes back to the heyday of the Empire, and they've pretty much traditionally always been wizards. So they've been collecting books for a very long time. They've been doing a lot of research. Some of their spells are unique to their family.
Very good. He appreciates that very much, and he's he looks over the books with a certain gleam in his eye.
Okay, you don't see many spell books in this library, by the way, but there is.
They're probably elsewhere. He assumes mentally.
Yeah. Spell books probably wouldn't be kept in general.
They wouldn't be kept in a public
circulation.
library.
No. Well, this is not a public library. This is very much a private library.
So somebody new or somebody out in the open or yeah, they're not going to let him walk in and just go, oh, here's our spell books. No, thank you.
Like, I wouldn't just be able to wander in there.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
No, but there are a lot of books here that cover history. There's a lot of books here that cover research into various magical and mystical events and subgenres. You might not find a spell book in here, but you might find a book that details the research process that went through towards the creation of a specific spell.
Very good.
So you wouldn't know how to cast that spell after reading the book, but you would know everything about that spell other than how to cast it.
Right. The history of it, how to make it, I would have to find it in a spell book, and hopefully somebody might have it in town or in this other libraries within the keep.
Yeah, a spell book, if you find a spell book with the fireball spell in it, that'll of course teach you how to cast fireball.
Right.
But a book that includes research onto how to cast a fireball spell in this library will teach you don't cast it at your feet.
Right. Although I've had to do that on occasion in other games.
Yeah, it also teaches you not to cast it at the vampire when the cleric is within range.
Yeah. That's when the evokers come handy.
Fire in the hole!
Yeah.
All right. I'm on my computer. Logan will be on his momentarily.
Yay.
Thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it immensely.
It's 2 in the morning.
Break time over. Now let's introduce two people who were AFK before. We've got Eric. Eric, who are you playing?
I am playing Obaim Metalcaster. I am a Hill Dwarf Cleric.
And we have, for the first time on his own computer, Logan. Logan, who are you playing?
I am a Dragonborn Paladin. Fenix.
All right, so we're going to do the last of our recaps before we get into the thick of the adventure. Obaim also wandered off to do his own thing. As I remember from 2 sessions ago, he was interested in visiting the local church that served the dwarf god of the area.
Correct.
Okay, and that particular deity is Terra the Rock Shaper. And when Obaim goes there, does he have any particular questions that he asks them?
Not really anything specific.
Just more of a, hey, who are you and what do you do type thing?
More of I'm here. Do you mind if I use your facilities for
Yes, we do have a restroom and latrine.
He would like to have his party blessed for this next adventure.
Gesundheit. Well, they do ask you what type of adventure you're planning on going on.
Well, we are going to be the end game that we see so far is going to be trying to work on this beholder, possible beholder threat. And I didn't know if anyone here had any information on these particular beings, or if they know what these beings are. Do they have any information that would lead us in a rightful path?
From their reaction, it is very obvious that they have no idea what you're talking about.
Very good. Tell me where the holy water is.
There's a small font near the entrance to the church.
Wonderful.
Okay, well, the dwarves in this particular church give you weird looks after your encounter, but they do make their facilities available to you. You can spend the day praying and communing with your deity. You again get that image of a tower in a mist-shrouded forest. You do not gain any new insights about it, but you're fairly certain it's a real place, and you're fairly certain that you are closer to it than you were the first time this vision appeared.
I'm assuming the scenery around is kind of looking familiar as far as the, I guess, as we go toward this particular structure.
Well, you're still in Coomridge right now, and the scenery only looks familiar to you because you remember this vision from the last time you had it. You've never seen this place before in your life.
Very good.
Okay, so that covers all of our flashbacks. Now we're up to the point where it's the next day. Everyone is fresh and ready. You've gone through your morning rituals for spells. Ari is not there because he spent the night in a very comfortable keep. Castles tend to be very drafty and cold in the wintertime, but not ones that are run by a family of wizards. They've got things they can do. So,
We cheat.
yeah. Ari is, as someone of noble birth, is quite used to this lifestyle, and he is not out of place at all. He's comfortable with this, especially after spending 3 days on the road. So he's not there for this part, but now the party's together in the inn. You have several paths ahead of you that you can take. I believe the ones that we've laid out previously were there's the issue with the undead, and now at least one living person being found without eyes, and finding more information about that. There are also bounties being awarded for people who go to check on Marwood, who is a very old elf that lives in a tower to the north. There are farmers to the southeast that have claimed that there are goblins in the area. This needs to be verified before they send the guard en masse to find the goblins and deal with them. What does the party choose to do?
Didn't we say last time, guys, we're going to head and see if we can talk to the old person in the north?
Yeah, that's what
Who was that?
I think the goblins might be the better bet, actually.
What do you guys think? I think we're gonna leave the person that has the eyes missing. We're gonna leave him for last, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter really if it's the goblins or it's the old man.
We have 5 people we can always vote.
No, I don't have 5 people yet.
Oh, we have 4 people currently.
I'd rather us specifically stick together. But
Split the party.
Yeah.
They are in opposite directions, and you're gonna have to decide as a party which way you think is better.
Well, something tells me we're gonna be this is gonna be pretty combat heavy. So let's get the goblins first.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Goblins.
Okay.
Better be a loot involved.
So while this is going on, Ari, as you are finishing a fantastic breakfast, one of the finer meals you've had in a while, particularly since you've been on the road for so long, you are again greeted by Ardent Idris III, and he says that he has a favor to ask of you. You know the adventurers that you traveled with on your way here?
Yes, a fine group of gentlemen.
You would vouch for them?
That might be asking a bit much, but they seemed like nice fellows.
Yes, they seemed like nice people when I met them as well. However, there may have been a snag. Since they arrived in Coomridge, no fewer than 5 guards and 6 of our citizens have died. And
Oh,
all
that's
of them
unpleasant.
were in proximity in some way, shape, or form with the people of that caravan. And I'm not talking about the poor sergeant who lost his guards under him in the swamp.
I see. And you would perhaps like me to check them out?
I would
Follow
like
along?
I would like more information before we act either way. Adventurers, when they enter Coomridge, although rarely, tend to get bored very fast, particularly in the wintertime. It's one of the reasons why our steward keeps a long-standing list of tasks for adventurers to do, mostly to keep them busy and not turn them into, what's the colloquial term for that? Murder hobos, I believe is the term that's commonly used. However,
I see.
sometimes this
I
list of
think we have the
tasks
party
is not
name.
enough.
Yes, we do.
Murder hobos.
Well, it worked because adventurers are people who travel from place to place without a home, killing people and taking their stuff.
We need a logo for next week.
Murder Hobos is the name, and Crash, we need a logo.
Basically, what he wants you to do is, because you traveled with them for 3 days, they know who you are, and you could very easily say, hey guys, I'm bored out of my skull, mind if I go with you, or something like that, and they might even let you come along, which would be great. He doesn't want you to act. He wants you to observe. So if you find out they are the ones that are killing people, just get out of there and let him know, and then they have the means to take out a party of adventurers that are doing stuff like this. And you get the idea from this conversation that by saying that he has the resources, he means him. He is a wizard of no small amount of power.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then I shall do my best to report on their doings and hopefully exonerate them from whatever is going on.
Okay. He gives you a small wooden disc. It's carved to have a rose on both sides of it. It's not colored, but from everything you've seen in Coomridge, you assume that if it was, the rose would be blue.
Right.
He says,
The pattern of the petals matches.
pretty much. If you need to get out of somewhere quickly, break this. It'll trigger a teleport spell, and you will arrive in our courtyard.
Oh, okay then.
It will work for anything in your possession at the time you break it. It will only work on you, though, or someone else who breaks it. If you give it to someone else, they can use it. If you're carrying someone or anything alive, it will not travel with you.
Understood.
Okay. He does give you a little bit more information about who has died recently. Some of the cargo that Dibs Coin Pincher had brought with him into Coomridge, because he's a merchant who has a caravan, so of course he did, was some alchemical reagents that were ordered by a gnome in a tower to the north. Those were meant to be delivered by a sergeant and the 4 guards that serve under him. They found their bodies. The bodies had been stripped. They didn't have anything of value on them whatsoever, and there were no alchemical agents on them either. So that's one tie. Also, there was a farm to the southeast that had a young couple and their child. Those bodies were found dead. And additionally, the neighboring farm had a young girl and her parents, and they were also found brutally murdered.
Oh dear.
Yes, and for that, the younger couple had been reported by 2 members of this party as being brutally murdered, and that they found the bodies, and that they talked to the younger girl in the neighboring farm. But by all accounts, those 2 party members were the last 2 people to see that other family alive.
Sybil.
Well, it would be metagaming for you to know that she's dead, but yeah, she's dead.
The girl is dead, or the family is dead, or both?
Both.
Oh.
There were 2 neighboring farms. They both had 3 people. One was a younger couple and a 2-year-old child, and the other one was maybe late teens girl and her parents. And both farms have been wiped out.
So all 6 are deceased now.
Yeah, those are the 6 citizens that were killed and 5 guards.
Okay.
But in different areas. But they all had some tie to this adventuring party that just arrived.
So the adventuring party had simply been the last people, or part of the adventuring party, had been the last 2 people to see the one farm family alive. And this girl is the witness, and she is now dead?
When those 2 members of the party who reported the dead family reported to the guards, they sent a contingent to the farm to check on her, and when they got there, she was dead.
Got it.
And there's not enough to simply assume that this party of adventurers is responsible for all of this.
It's simply circumstantial. They happen to be in perhaps the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly. And you know what? Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes there's something bigger pulling the strings. That would be very stereotypical, but it's possible. So your main job that you're doing as a favor for the Idris family is just to gather information and then get the hell out of there if things go south.
Understood. I can handle that.
Okay. You gather up your adventuring gear and you head out, and you catch up to this party as they're getting to the main eastern gate of Coomridge Keep.
Excuse me, good fellows.
Yes,
Hello there.
Finally, someone my size.
I'm about 5'9". So, I guess.
That makes you as close to his size as anyone in the party.
You're as close as forget.
I'm 6'2".
You are tall for a half-elf.
I'm like 6'11".
I hear, rumor has it, that you are leaving town to go deal with some trouble outside the town. I am, alas, stuck here for the winter and seem to be at an impasse as to what I may do to entertain myself here. I have some skill in magic and I have some knowledge. Perhaps I may be of assistance to you during your journey.
Can I insight check him? Because I don't trust anyone.
Oh,
You may certainly try.
16?
I need a roll from Ari too.
What do you want me to roll? I'm
Well,
in D20,
you're-
but what skill?
I'm trying to remember what it is in 5th edition.
Deception.
Thank you.
Okay. 16 plus 2 is 18.
Yeah, he seems on the up and up.
We're off to investigate reports of goblins. You're welcome to join.
Hey, you haven't been staying in a hotel. Or the flop house, whatever the hell that place
It is a very nice hotel. I joke about how it's the only inn in Coomridge Keep, but it is also a very nice inn in Coomridge Keep. When you have a monopoly, you can invest in your infrastructure.
Blue Bucket Inn.
So where do you live here?
No, I am a guest of the, the prince, if you will.
They just refer to themselves as lords.
Lords. Okay, I'm
it's
guessing.
considered a kingdom, but they never adopted the role of king.
Then I have been a guest of the Lord Idris. My family is seeking a business arrangement with the lords here, and I am their emissary. However, my family neglected to inform me of the rather harsh winter that takes place here, and I find that I am stuck here for the winter until the roads begin to become passable and thaw.
As
Well-
he said that, I would like to roll my eyes and say, "Ugh, nobles," and just walk.
I agree.
Well, I walk up to him while you guys roll away. It's like you'll have to get used to these guys. We'll be okay. Hopefully, the road we travel. Hopefully, we're warm and good on the road we travel. However, keep your eyes open as these lands have certain undead traits about them.
Oh, that's intriguing. He will also give you the Master Obaim a greeting in Dwarvish, just kind of a short bow and well met and good journey, but in Dwarvish.
Very good. I return the favor.
I have yet not to know any of their languages.
Oh,
My tongue's more long and stretchy than anyone else's.
Awesome.
Intriguing. If we are prepared to go, I am ready to leave.
I would like to just look at him and say, "Keep up."
Shall not be a problem.
Okay, so you head out. The journey is, for the most part, very easy. As we talked about last session, the roads appear to have been plowed. Also, there's been a day of the snow melting in the sunlight and then refreezing, so some of the areas are a bit icy. Shepherd is able to run around on top of the crust of ice that is formed on top of the snow. Punk is not able to do this, and he's the next lightest. So if he tries to do this, he'll sink right through with a wonderful sound.
I'm just gonna follow. I'm gonna follow Fenix.
Well, you don't have to leave the road at all so far.
Okay.
You haven't gotten far enough where you have to venture off into the woods yet.
All right.
But Shepherd, I'm just saying, as small puppies like to do, is running all over the place. So he's enjoying jumping around on top of the snow drifts and stuff.
While we're walking, can I keep an eye out for tracks for goblins?
Oh, certainly. Give me a perception check.
With advantage for favorite enemy?
Let me know what both results are, with and without advantage. So just tell me both numbers.
So one was a 10, one was a 12.
You see nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Now, about maybe an hour or two before lunch, you start to get to the farms that Punk and Fenix were at yesterday. Punk and Fenix, give me perception checks.
14.
Fenix?
Natural 20.
Okay, so remember that scarecrow you saw?
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's not there.
Oh boy.
And the snow was definitely deep enough that you see it's been moved. Something either went out there and got the scarecrow and came back, but you can't tell from this distance. Or maybe the scarecrow was someone in disguise and they left, but there's definitely a trail in the snow leading from where the scarecrow was to the farms.
It got 2 legs and walked away.
I'm pissed. I want to follow that trail.
Okay.
I follow it as well.
Now, Ari, you know from your conversation with Lord Idris, these are cattle farms. They don't grow crops.
Right. They would need a scarecrow.
As they're running off, ask them where the hell they're going, because obviously I know nothing about this.
Yeah, you guys want to explain something to us?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just charging off.
I pick up Shepard, put him in my backpack, and follow.
Shepard just sticks his head out and looks adorable.
Are they running to where the scarecrow was hanging?
Well, I think we were at the Scarecrow, right?
You never went over to the Scarecrow. You noticed it when you were tying up the dead family.
No, what I'm saying is now we went over to where the Scarecrow was before.
That's what you're doing? Okay. Then
Yeah.
you went over to where the Scarecrow was. You
Yeah.
see a spot in the ground where it obviously was.
Mhm.
You see tracks.
Yeah.
Do you have the ability? Give me a nature check.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're doing it because they're the only ones who know what's going on.
Well, they would have to tell the rest of the party what's going on. Otherwise,
You guys want to give us a heads up of what's going on, guys?
12. There was something here. We were here before. We thought it was maybe a scarecrow, but it obviously wasn't because it's not here anymore. It was a person, and we should have come over and checked it out, and we didn't.
Take a look.
Do I give a nature check?
anyone who looks at the tracks, give me a nature check.
Alright.
17.
19.
15.
23.
The ranger has one of the
Good
lowest
lord.
rolls. Okay, so basically anyone who rolls higher than a 15 is able to tell, and it's only as high as 15 just
Is
because
that 15
some of you
or
were
higher, or
higher than 15. You see this. Lower than 15. What happened is everyone running over here ran over the tracks and obscured some of it. But the tracks before everyone ran over were going one way. So basically that scarecrow, whatever or whoever it was just waiting there. The snow piled up around it during the blizzard, and then it left.
I knew I should have hit it.
Yeah. Shoulda. Pissed.
This is
What
where we
about
flash
Paladin?
back to last episode where Ponk was a little paranoid about the scarecrow, but Fenix was just like, wait, what? I don't care about the scarecrow.
Yeah.
can we follow the tracks for the scarecrow?
The tracks go over some trails that were previously made in the snow by a very large humanoid that looks something like a dragon.
Oh, god damn it.
Brother.
But from the looks of it, that was a matter of convenience. It was clearly able to go through the snow where there were no tracks previously,
Mhm.
because it had to go through the snow to get to those tracks. But it visits both farms. There are other tracks around, booted footprints, quite possibly the footprints of the guards. Ari, you assume that they're guard footprints just because you already know in advance that these are the families that got murdered.
Right.
There are ropes that are laying in front of one of the farms where Ponk tied up the original murdered family. The ropes have been torn apart. They don't look cut, they look torn.
As if perhaps someone burst through them or ripped them, burst their bonds.
But wait,
Maybe. You can't
thought-
tell. The ropes don't look like they're clean slices. That's all
Right.
you can tell.
They weren't cut free, but either someone freed them or they freed themselves.
But
Yeah.
wait, I thought the garbage people were coming to pick up the bodies. Oops.
They wouldn't cut the ropes here.
Yeah, they wouldn't even bother taking the ropes off.
No, they'd
That's
leave
what
them
I
on
mean.
if they were coming back.
So we wasted all that time tying up these. Anyway,
They either broke out or someone let them out.
You know the
Scarecrow?
bodies were recovered. But you weren't given additional details about how they were recovered. You just know that guards did come out here. They did find 6 bodies.
Or were they guards?
Well, they were guards because the guy who's in charge of all the guards said they were guards. But
Right.
Fenix wouldn't know about this unless Ari
Right.
shares it, and chances
That's
are he's
true.
not going to.
I will. Guards were dispatched to pick up bodies. I'd heard from the Lord, and he indicated that there was some concern as to what happened here. Care to illuminate me on what occurred?
I would like to know what happened as well, to be honest.
Let's just say I kind of almost died.
we were told by that girl to come check on a family over here. They hadn't been seen in. We came out, they were dead. The father got back up, we put him down again. And then we went back to the girl, we told her, and she said we had to take care of the bodies. So we came all the way back here, we got the bodies, we tied them up, and we left them out like we were supposed to. End of story.
I have never heard someone so indignant about making sure that zombies don't murder everyone. But that is very true to Punk's character.
Yes.
I trust him.
He's getting a little pissed that he's being second guessed here.
No, I trust him.
No, I simply wanted to know what happened. It was, the Lord did not really give me a lot of information. You saw this firsthand, and I simply wanted to know what happened.
So do we have to go check another farm now to see if...
We should go and check the other farm.
We got anything to burn these things now?
Probably not, but we should go and check the other farm.
Alright.
Okay, you go and check the other farm. When you enter, everyone give me a perception check.
Thank you. Natural 20.
19.
That's a 7.
17.
10.
Welcome to the Natural Hobos podcast, where natural 20s rain from the sky.
Hey, it's better than the 3 natural ones I rolled before we started recording.
Okay, well, the door to this house, this farmhouse seems to be built very much like the other farmhouse. It is mostly a one-story structure. It's got a loft that Ponk would be able to stand up in, and Obaim would be able to stand up in, but everyone else would sort of be crouched over a little bit when they're up there. It also has a root cellar. The windows are rather high up and very small. You wouldn't be able to fit any sentient humanoid through them. The door, very much like the door to the previous farm, has been smashed in from the outside. There is blood everywhere. There's some smashed furniture in the main room, and there are no bodies here. But there was
But there's a
definitely
lot
a
of
huge
blood.
struggle, and yeah, more blood than you can take out of a person and expect them to still be around.
I say to Punk, I thought you said they were alive when you left.
When we left? No, there was nobody alive.
And the,
No, this
and
is-
the second
This is
cabin.
the second house that you never entered. You
Yeah, we
always
never came here.
talked to Sybil outside the outside of the
Yeah.
house.
Girl
You
was
know.
alive. The girl was alive.
Girl was alive, yeah. We never went in. So I don't know what happened to her.
Is there any indication of what? Is there? Can I do an investigation check to see any indication of what's happened here?
I wanted to do.
Well, I will build on this because you rolled a natural 20. The
cool.
door is not just smashed in. There appear to be claw marks on the door as well. Something was scratching really hard at it in addition to punching it.
Get a snow wolf.
The claw marks are high enough that if it was a wolf, you don't want to mess with this thing because
It'd be a dire wolf or
it would
something.
give Fenix a run for his money in regards to weight class.
Oh god.
Or it could be something tall and skinny. Either way, these are claw marks.
It's a witch.
Burn it.
Only if she weighs as much as a duck.
Can I look at the claw marks to try and determine what kind of animal it was or what kind of being it was?
Oh, sure. Give me a nature check.
Advantage on those, yeah. 18.
Nothing natural made these.
Oh, fun.
Like, you
It's-
know all different kinds of natural claw marks that can be made, and you can systematically rule out all of them.
It's evolved Dragonborn.
Are there any other farms or anything around this area? Or
You've been going through
towns?
farmland all day.
All right.
Could I make a Arcana check to see if it was some other kind of supernatural creature?
Oh, you can certainly try.
Okay. All right. 15 plus 6 is 21.
You would need more than claw marks to be able to tell from the door.
Okay.
th-
Are there
there's-
any? Could we look around? Sorry.
There's a variety of constructs and magical hybrids that could have made things like this. You can't narrow it down to any one specific thing to be certain.
Okay. Could we? Is there anything else to look around? Say on the floor, the walls, the ceiling in here? Might give us other clues.
Smash furniture, you can't really tell much from this. You get the sense that any investigating that can be done, you would need more resources to cast certain scrying spells, and you don't happen to have
Okay.
those on you.
There's
That's
nothing
the only
we
thing
can do here.
Yeah, the only thing I could do here would be try to detect magic, but I don't think we're going to find any traces.
No, I'd agree. The claw marks were not something natural. We can't determine if it was supernatural.
Too many things it could be from a supernatural bent.
Exactly. There's
Yeah,
nothing we
I
can do
could-
here.
I could go through the monstrous manual and just read off the name of everything that Ari would know about that it could possibly be, but
Yeah, he'd be
I
Ari
don't
wrong.
know.
does need to go to sleep
I do
at some
not
point.
have enough paper for that. I do
Yeah.
not have enough paper for that.
Let's go back and check those tracks.
The tracks, after they go to this farm, they more or less disappear. They do head to the road, but the road was plowed so well,
Yep.
it might as well have vanished. There's nothing else you can find here.
Well, let's
That's
keep on
yeah.
heading east.
That's a dead end at the moment. Let's head and deal with the goblins, and then report what we've found. Because I don't know, 2 dead families, not a good thing. You've already reported one, as far as we know. The other one's not. So
Okay, give me one more perception check for the journey from here to the edge of the woods.
Crash, before we go too far, I want to roll my portent ability so I can have the D20s ready in case we run into a fight.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 1 for perception.
22 for perception.
18.
Okay, so Vex ends up being a character out of a stereotypical fantasy RPG. He looks down and doesn't see his feet.
I also
Shepard's okay though, right?
forgot to say my
Shepard
roll.
does not get his own perception check.
No, I mean Shepard's okay. He doesn't fly at the backpack. He's good.
No, it's just that you know, for so many video games, they don't bother to render your character that you're playing unless you go to a third-person view. You don't even notice your own feet with that natural 1. Everyone that rolls higher than 15, which I think was more than one of you, because now I've digressed enough that I've forgotten numbers.
Energy 22.
Yeah.
Fenix 1.
Okay.
18.
Okay, so again, more than one of you. As you go past more farms, you do see that every farm you go past at this point does have smoke coming out of the chimneys. So unless you go up and knock on every door, all appears to be well at this point. There's no more incidences like what you encountered yesterday, where there was a farmhouse with no smoke and everyone murdered inside.
Gotcha.
If one of these farms has had that problem, it's either just happened or whatever did that is inside keeping the fire going.
I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, just saying.
It gets cold. Okay, so as you get to the edge of the woods, the road gets a lot worse. And by a lot worse, I mean it stops. The roads are no longer being plowed because no one needs to get out of the woods quickly, usually, one would hope. So it gets to be very slow going. I'm going to assume that we have Fenix taking the lead because he is basically a living snowplow.
Question,
Yes.
is this considered difficult terrain?
The snow comes up to your chest.
Natural Explorer? How long will it take us to get there? Because if it's more than an hour, difficult terrain will not slow us down because of me.
It would take more than an hour.
When traveling an hour or more, your group isn't slowed by difficult terrain, and your group can't be lost by magic.
Yay.
Okay, so how this would work into taking game mechanics into something that's more plausible physics. Basically, you point out to Fenix the best ways for him to optimize his ability as a living snowplow.
Yeah.
And just, move that snow out of the way like no one's business.
I'll turn this Dragonborn around.
Yeah, Punk's in the middle just going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? My nose is
There
cold.
yet.
I have to use the bathroom. That would be in character for him, I think.
It would.
Okay, I don't want to assume, but I'm totally assuming. Okay, so Fenix, since you're in the lead, give me a perception check. And I'm gonna let Vex roll as well, since you're basically being his guide.
Yay. That's 16?
It's not 20, but it's a 19 plus 1.
Okay, so it's
No.
20, but not natural.
No, sorry, it's 19. I was looking at performance.
Okay. So you stop in your tracks because you see a tree that has a branch lashed to it with a bunch of sharpened spikes lashed to it and a rope extending from that down into the snow. And basically, if you had just kept going, there's a chance that you might have triggered this and you would be having to roll a dexterity save to prevent yourself from being impaled.
Fun.
Glad I rolled high on that one.
To be fair, Vex's roll was high enough to spot this also. This isn't disguised very well. However, with the height of the snow, there's a pretty good chance this was not put here to stop game.
Someone knows we're coming, guys.
Right, let's walk around and keep going. Keep alert.
Okay.
Natural Explorer, also remain alert to danger while engaged in other activities.
And now that you spotted this one, you're keeping your eyes open for it, so give me another perception roll with advantage. Everyone.
15.
21.
16.
19.
Okay, you spot several more traps. Not just this kind that I just described, but also some where something is supposed to fall out of a tree. You actually step on one, but it was apparently put there before the blizzard came in, so the huge amount of snow prevents it from coming up and trapping your leg. And that was Fenix because he was in the lead. But you don't take any damage because the snow kept the trap from triggering properly. But yeah, these woods are full of traps at this point.
So basically, I'm a snowplow, but cover fire.
But there's anti-tank traps
Yeah.
set throughout the area, yes. However,
We
all
must
of
be
your
going the
rolls-
right way.
Yeah. I was, to simplify this, I just said, okay, one more roll for spotting all of them. So for the sake of expediting gameplay, none of these traps that you've encountered seems to have affected you. You got through them, and basically you're able to use the number of traps you're encountering as basically a game of hotter or colder. So you're able to use them to figure out which way you should be heading. Oh, there's more of them over in this direction. We should probably
Right.
head this way.
Right.
Which is the opposite of what any sane person would do. If you find more traps, you should probably go away.
You've never seen a horror movie, clearly.
Or adventurers.
Well, you're already not following the rules of a horror movie because you decided earlier not to split the party.
This is true.
And you didn't send one person down into the root cellar to check things by themselves, and they didn't say, "I'll be right back."
Is that also true?
And now I'm thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy.
We are the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm Groot.
I'm thinking of Evil Dead myself.
Groovy.
I was thinking of Scream.
It's pretty much all things combined.
Yeah.
The Ring.
Okay, so I appreciate that Eclipse is in the Discord channel. Even though his mic isn't working, he's been posting things this entire time, and now he's posted a wonderful fry from Futurama.
Futurama.
Meme. Not sure if my house normally makes that sound or if I'm about to be brutally murdered.
Accurate.
Okay, so you make your way through the woods all the way. Thanks to your wonderful ranger guide, you're able to do this before it gets too dark. But the sun is definitely going down. You got some long shadows going on here. To the edge of the mountains that you assume these are the mountains that surround all of Coomridge. And there appears to be something that might be a cave entrance. Roll for initiative.
All right, I
Knock you
love
out of
this.
nowhere.
Would now be a good time to mention the rolls I got.
Oh my god, this hurts.
Oh, I have advantage on initiative. Yay. Thank God, because I rolled a natural one.
18.
17.
Ponk is 18.
Yes.
Who was 17?
I got an 18. I got an 18 as well.
I got a 3.
That's kind of like Charlie Brown getting a rock for Halloween.
I got a 3.
Okay, so Fenix is 19, Ponk is 18, Obaim is 3. Who am I missing?
I have a 12.
17.
Ari is a 12, and Vex is a 17.
Yep.
Okay, so as you are approaching what appears to be a cave entrance in the side of this mountain, it's more or less a cliff. So this is not something that you would be able to climb without making several athletics checks, rather. And the trees go right up to the edge of it. What's Fenix's AC?
6.
Okay, 2 arrows fly out of the cave entrance, and one of them hits you.
Cover fire, I'm telling you.
For 3 points of piercing damage.
My God.
Yes, so congratulations, you are now bleeding your own blood.
Dragon blood, save it.
I'll lick it off.
Okay, but Fenix, it is your turn. What do you do?
Can I look?
You are
towards-
close enough that if you double move, you can get to the cave entrance, but you won't be able to attack at that point. You would get there and then have to stop.
Well,
Well, let's break this down. You have two choices if you're going to try to get closer. If you're going to try to go away, then all you got to do is say, I'm running out of here like crazy. But if you try to get closer, you can double move, which will have you right at the cave entrance, but you will have used up your attack. If you don't double move, you can get halfway there, and then the next turn you can get there and attack. So either way, you won't be attacking this turn, you'll be attacking next turn. Do you want to be at the cave entrance at the end of this turn or halfway there?
I'll be halfway there.
Okay.
Is there like rocks or anything, or structures, trees, or anything he can hide behind?
There's trees, but nothing enough that's big enough for a Dragonborn to hide behind or use as cover.
Understand.
Other than the snow itself, which comes up to your, well, not your chest, it goes over your head.
He could
it goes up to
dodge.
his chest.
He could dodge.
You can try.
I have acrobatics and intelligence.
No, dodge would be his action to get disadvantage to any attackers.
And he most certainly can try, yes. Okay, so that's Fenix's move. He is halfway to the cave entrance. It's Punk's turn next.
I would actually like to hold my turn, if that's all right.
Okay. Vex, you're up.
60-foot dark vision. Can I see them?
It is light enough outside. Like, the sun is going down. You got long shadows, like I said, but it's light enough outside that your dark vision doesn't kick in into the cave.
So I can't see them at all.
No. Curse you, Daystar.
Can I light a torch and chuck it into the cave?
You're not sure you could throw that far accurately, but you know, I'll let you try. Give me a roll.
If I move my 30 feet movement, then can I do it?
So
With
you
a bit
move
more-
30 feet, light a torch, and throw it.
Yep.
You know what? I'll allow it, Legolas.
What am I rolling?
Give me a d20.
Adding anything?
Do you have any points that you'd add towards improvised weapons?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Then.
So that would just be a 13.
Okay, so you basically run along behind Fenix, lighting a torch, and you toss it right around the time that he stops, narrowly missing his head.
Oh my god.
And the torch, yeah, Fenix. If Fenix had hair, it would be a little singed. Torch goes end over end and lands just outside of the cave entrance.
I look at him funny.
And you
Not
can
even
see,
a bit of light.
and you can see some small shadows of figures on the inside. Two of them are holding bows.
Good job.
Bonus action. Now that I can see them, I put Hunter's Mark on them.
Both of them?
One of them. I put Hunter's Mark on one of them because you can only do it on one of them.
Okay. It's the goblin's turn. They're still aiming for Fenix because he's in front and tall, so they can see him clearly. One of them misses. The other one does 4 points of damage.
Cover fire.
Yeah, I'm just
You're
kind
in-
of standing there behind Fenix.
Just FYI, Logan, you are getting cover fire. The ranger literally threw fire at them. So if he had rolled higher, he might have actually hit one of them with the torch. Just FYI. It's Ari's turn.
If you were.
I don't like things shooting at me, so I'm going to cast Mage Armor.
All right. You do so. And then
All right.
And then nothing happens. 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 It's Obaim's turn.
How far away are they from me as far as feet?
I would say just over 60 feet.
And he has 7 damage on him.
Oh, Fenix is only 30 feet away from you.
Okay.
In regards to game mechanics, I'll just say if you use your movement for this turn, you'll be right behind Fenix.
Let's go ahead and throw a Cure Wounds on him.
All right.
Let's get to I want to use a move to get next to him and then touch him. Let me give you the die roll, which is... It's going to be 7 points of damage. 7 points of healing.
Okay. Those are very different things.
Sorry.
So
All the way up.
So you come over and you try to give Fenix a healing pat on the shoulder, but you're a dwarf and he's a dragonborn, so you give him a healing pat on the back, and he feels a lot better for it. Okay, start of the next turn. Fenix, you're up.
Wait, doesn't it go back to... Because doesn't Tom hold his action?
Yeah, I held my turn.
Oh, that's right.
Question. So,
Answer.
Fenix is on, like, one side of the cave entrance, right?
Fenix is halfway between where you were... Well, between where you are and the cave entrance.
Oh, okay. He's not at the entrance yet?
No, he'll be there at the beginning of next turn unless he chooses to change his direction.
Okay. Because what I was going to do was try to go to the other side of the entrance. Say he's left, like I was going to try to head towards the right. So.
I have a strong suspicion, and I'm just assuming, but Logan, you weren't planning on having Fenix go to the side of the cave. You were planning on barging right in, weren't you?
No.
It's a yes.
Well, he might choose to go to the side, but from the looks of it, he's heading right for it either way.
Because I know there's people with ranged weapons.
From your point of view, at least, because you are a gnome and he's a dragonborn, and he's 30 feet away from you, and the snow goes over your head on either side of him.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna try to charge towards. Basically, just use my turn to try to get to like outside the entrance. So.
You want to charge all the way there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm allowing this specifically because of the benefits you're getting from Vex being a ranger and this being difficult terrain. So basically, as you charge, you go through the area that Fenix has plowed so far, but he stopped, and you don't. You sort of you dive between his legs in a somersault, come back up, and keep going, and there's a crust of ice on top of the snow everywhere at this point, so you don't get the same Bugs Bunny burrow effect. But you just plow your way through the snow all the way to the cave.
Okay. Like I don't want. Like I'm not trying to go in it. I'm trying to get like outside the entrance.
You are able to use the torch that was thrown as a guide point because you can see it's light coming through the snow a bit to be able to move either to the left or the right, whichever one you want to do.
Okay. Right side. So.
You know, I don't think this is the first time you've done this maneuver either.
No, this is not. Oh god! Thank God I have more heal spells.
I didn't say I was going in the cave. I said I'm going outside it.
They have
You
ranged
been able to go in the cave.
Use charge, you crazy barbarian.
Yeah, but there's people with ranged weapons who can shoot in. I'm standing on the outside.
And
But-
he's
'cause I'm-
currently under the snow. So
Yeah.
at this point, he is not visible to anyone,
There you go.
including your party. So beware
fine.
misses.
It's fine.
You don't know if the wizard can cast Fireball or not.
And I'm getting shot by all angles over here.
Okay, well, you can do something about that because it's your turn.
I'm gonna use protection from good and evil on myself.
Refresh my memory, what does that spell do?
The protection grants silver benefits creatures of those types have disadvantages on attack rolls against the target. The target can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Congratulations, your Dragonborn is not going to be scared of goblins.
And they get disadvantages.
Well, yeah, that's the more functional part of it, but also your giant Dragonborn is not going to be scared of goblins. So those are both in effect. Alright, next up is Ponk's turn.
Holding my turn.
Vex.
I'd like to lean out, aim for the one that I had Hunter's Mark on, and fire.
Give me a roll.
That is a 25 to hit.
Yeah, 25 to hit.
So a D8 plus a D6 for Hunter's Mark. That is 11 points of piercing damage. And
You
that's
hit it right between the eyes, and
Yeah!
it stands there for a little bit, and then just falls cleanly backward like a tree being felled. This would be very epic and cinematic if it wasn't a small goblin.
as a bonus action, I'll move my Hunter's Mark onto the other goblin and go back behind Fenix.
As a shield?
As a shield, and that's the end of my turn.
Congratulations, you are officially the meat shield.
Well, I have protection from good and evil, so it works.
Rangers, yeah.
Okay, next up, the goblins. Okay, so the remaining goblin that you can see fires another arrow, and it goes off into the woods and hits a tree. It misses Fenix. It was a close one, but it missed him. Next up is Ari.
All right, since the party is all advanced ahead of me, I will run up and join the rest of them. What can we see? What can we see? What's going on? We still being shot at?
Obaim, your
Yeah?
I am. Let's see, how far am I? Can I see? Line of sight wise, can I see the cave and the goblin in there?
turn. You can. Everyone, give me a perception check just to see something. That sounds redundant.
Natural 20.
19.
7.
8. I'm in the snow.
Yeah, the one who's closest literally cannot see anything.
I'm making snow angels.
14.
Okay, Ari can't see this. He's too busy asking everyone what they see.
Do you see what I see?
No, they don't. There are, but and Ponk doesn't see this either. But there are two more goblin-sized shapes behind the surviving goblin. I almost said bowman, but I guess that would be accurate. However, these two aren't shooting bows.
Okay, let's go ahead and throw out a guiding bolt. One of them I can see. A flash of light streaks toward the creature of your choice within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On hit, the target takes 4d6 radiant damage, and the next attack roll made against this target and the next attack roll made against this target before the end of the turn has advantage. For example, if I hit, then the next person that attacks it has an advantage if I don't kill it. Thanks to the mystical dim light glittering the target until then, so there'll be light going through it as well.
Okay.
Let's be honest. If this hits 46 is gonna die.
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
Turn it into a pink mist.
Yeah.
It's a 19.
Roll for damage. I just want to see what happens.
Pink mist. Pink mist.
12, 15, 19.
Okay, well, if Vex had done that much damage, the goblin would have turned into a fine red mist. But the spell you used turns it into a shower of glitter.
Glitter bomb.
Is Vex now able to identify more people in there because of the light?
Oh, you can clearly see two very frightened goblins in the back of the room.
Very good. I killed something, guys!
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you, dear.
I
Yay,
killed a wagon at the first episode.
the holy guy killed somebody. Wait. Oh. Alright, well, since Ponk held his turn, it's now Ponk's turn.
Able to, from where I am, then be able to. Actually, I probably can't see anything in there, right?
From where you are, in the snow.
In the snow.
Right,
You saw a bright light fly overhead, and there was a scream, and I just frightened my cat. He's sitting on the desk watching me roll dice, and he just stood up and looked around like, what was that? But he's calm now. He's settled back down again. He's ready to watch me roll dice again and maybe roll a bit himself. I watch him roll a 20. So I'd be a little worried. So you saw that bright light through the snow, and you heard a scream, more than one scream actually, coming from inside the cave. But other than that, you don't know exactly what's happened.
All right. Getting out of the snow, would that be a whole action, or can I? Because what we do is with a gnomish battle cry is leap out of the snow and run into the cave.
I would allow you to do that.
Exactly.
I would allow you to do that as your movement. With your
Okay.
charge earlier, you got close enough that you can very
Okay.
easily do this.
Okay. And would I be able to? But I wouldn't be able to attack, though. Right?
Oh yeah,
Just
you can move
getting-
and attack.
Okay. Then Punk Smash. I'm going to go in and try to attack. Try to swing at one of the goblins.
Okay,
just
give
gonna-
me a roll.
All right. So.
Battle cry's gonna be
8.
Okay, so you pop out of the snow, screaming and swinging a large.
Can opener.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but
Tommy gun.
Eric, thank you for posting that image to Discord.
There's
I'm
Tom.
certain that there's a copyright for it, so I cannot include it in the actual recording. But oh my gosh, it's a picture for those of you listening at home. It's a picture of a lawn gnome holding a machine gun.
It is adorable.
It is adorable and terrifying.
I imagine this thing.
But for the record, they only wear the pointy hats for ceremonial purposes. And it's not very accepting or understanding of their culture to include them in that position. But never mind that.
He's using the hat sideways.
So you
Yeah,
pop
it's
out of the
gangster,
snow,
so-
screaming and swinging your wrench, and you do not manage to connect because you were basically moving through a snowbank to do this.
Yeah.
And you had to aim on the fly, shooting from the hip, as it were. But you are now in front of two goblins. Each one is armed with a scimitar.
Dang.
Loot.
And you happen to be standing on top of a glittery corpse.
Nice.
Okay, so that ends that round. Fenix, you're up.
I'm gonna run in the cave.
Okay. You run in the cave, and you have an attack.
Oh, nice. Okay. 18. Wait,
You
no,
hit.
21 actually.
You hit harder. Roll damage.
7 damage.
You slice one of the scared little goblins in half with your longsword. From the when you came in, you swung from ground level up, so the sword went right up between its legs and through its skull.
Oh God.
Ugh.
But basically, your Dragonborn battle cry is a bit louder and more bestial than a gnomish battle cry. That's more of a frog getting stepped on.
Or alien. Yeah.
Battle toads.
However, oddly enough, the gnomish battle cry is slightly more terrifying.
All right, so we have one more goblin left.
All right, it's my turn. I'll take care of him.
Well, roll to do so.
14.
You miss.
I miss.
You miss.
Wow.
It manages to dodge out of the way. Vex's turn.
Have I got line of sight on that goblin?
You can shoot over my head.
And actually, shoot behind his head and hit the temple.
Is there somewhere I can move so that I have line of sight?
You can see it. I would say it's partial cover.
So the opposite AC. Okay. I will move Hunter's Mark as a bonus action onto it because it was on the one that Eric killed. So I move onto that. And I'll shoot the bow. I'll shoot the arrow. Good roll. Good roll. Good roll. That's a good roll. That is 24 to hit.
You hit it. Roll damage.
And that's a really good roll. So that's 13 points of piercing damage.
Okay, so with its position, you were not able to shoot it right between the eyes. You did, however, shoot it in one of its eyes.
Eh,
and,
beggars can't be choosers.
and pin it to the far wall.
There you go.
He just flies.
To be fair, this is a smallish area, so it didn't have that far to fly, but it's not falling over. It's sort of just hanging there a little bit. Its feet are wiggling just a little bit off the ground. But that was the last goblin you could see.
Can I walk up and collect my arrows?
You most
Even-
certainly can.
Okay, yay.
And as you do so, you can also see the arrows the goblins were using. You don't want them. They're
No.
your arrows that you have are much better quality. They were also made to be fired with short bows, and you're using a long bow.
Yes. With dark vision now, can I see further into the cave?
Oh yes, very easily. So this smallish room has 3 spots where there are animal hides hanging on the wall, and you can tell from how these hides are positioned that they are obscuring other areas where you can go through them into something else.
Okay.
There's one on the left, one on the right, and one directly ahead of you.
Can we look at traps around here by any chance before we go through any doors?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
while
certainly.
they're looking for traps, can I look for tracks with Natural Explorer to see how many goblins have been through here recently?
Everyone give me a roll.
First of all, for the traps, unfortunately, it's not very good. It's only 10 plus 4, so 14.
Okay.
Oh,
I
Everyone
got
looking for
a-
traps. What do you see? What's your roll?
I got a 17 for tracks.
For tracks.
Yes.
Okay. So for tracks, there are a lot of footprints. There are more than 4 goblins that have been through here.
I got a 20.
Okay, so Logan got a 20. Well, Fenix got a 20.
All right, got a 19 for traps.
I got a 16.
Okay. Nobody finds anything that you would call a trap. You find some food that went bad quite some time ago. The smell sounds like it could be some type of chemical weapon. But that wasn't. That was probably the goblin's dinner for the day.
All right, guys, where you want to go?
Can I stealth and check one of the rooms that one of the hides was covering?
Okay, you go forward, left, or right.
Let's do left first.
Okay,
Roll a stealth check.
you can roll a stealth check.
15.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. But it's not a trap, or is it? They just didn't find any. Okay, so you're pretty sure that nothing hears you because you can't even hear yourself. And as you peek through the hides that are covering this exit or entrance, or it depends on if you're coming or going, there is a bit of an alcove over to the right with basically some bedding and some accoutrements where it looks like the goblin was camped out here, or at least one of them was. But there's the entrance also continues off a little ways, and you think you see another alcove with more bedding off in that direction. With your dark vision, it's pretty. You can make it out, but you'd have to get closer to investigate it more.
Can I go back and use my dagger and cut one of the goblins' heads off for proof that there's goblins here?
You most certainly can. What's everyone else doing?
He's cutting it off. Cutting the head off. So we have the other 3. I like to keep on going. I don't know what direction though. He went to the left. Vex, tell me what you saw in that area over there, or so we can kind of not worry about that side. We can move over to the other rooms.
It was a sleeping area.
Okay. So, guys, what do you think? We want to go in front of us or to the right?
I want to run into the front.
You can certainly charge in, cowboy.
Give me a dexterity check.
Oh, God.
God.
Added goblin head to my equipment, by the way.
19.
Okay, so you burst through the hides that are covering this area, ripping them from the cave wall entirely. You just like toss them to the side in a very dramatic way, and you manage to not trip over the bedding that is filling most of this very small alcove.
Great, more bedding.
This is just like I'm getting wagon vibes over here.
All right, so we have one more place to look. Let's go ahead and check out that area.
We should be stealthy when we're doing this in case there are, because there are definitely more goblins here than just the 4 we dealt with.
All right, go ahead and...
Stealthiness is done after Logan charged in, ripping stuff off the wall.
Great. Then we go to the one that we've not been to yet.
All right, Fenix, get in front. Tank.
Yep.
This is another alcove. It's identical to the one that Logan was just in. It is not identical to the one that Vex could see off in the distance a bit.
I head back to that one and go further in.
Okay, everyone give me an intelligence check.
Ooh, I'm good at this one.
Me too.
Okay.
Actually, and I'm going to say, Fenix and Punk roll with advantage for this intelligence check.
Oh.
Does this have anything to do with humanoids? Because favored enemy will get advantage as well. It's
Not
up to you as I'm
specifically
asking.
Not
Okay.
specifically. Yes, but
Uh,
indirectly.
Then that's an 11.
I got a 17.
Freaking Mr. 20 over here rolled a 20.
Okay.
Jesus.
Ari got a 22.
Okay, so Ari, Fenix, and Panq all realize at the same time something that is unique to Coomridge. Panq in particular is very upset that he's had this realization, but because that would be in character for him, but he realizes it. Do you know what I just pointed out already?
No.
Panq, would you like to share with the rest of the class?
Tom doesn't know.
Okay. Things that die in Coomridge don't stay dead.
We need to burn the bodies.
I walk up, grab the torch I threw in. Do we have
Okay.
anything to...
You don't have enough wood to burn them enough.
Yeah.
Does my golden dragon breath work?
Aren't we surrounded by trees?
We're surrounded by trees.
You're surrounded by green wood.
Okay, well,
Um, So the issue here is, yes, you could char them, yes, you could burn them, but they'd be like, I don't like this imagery, but they'd be like a hamburger you left on the grill for too long. It would be a briquette, but it would still be there.
All right.
100 years
The
ago,
question
give or
becomes
take, when this started happening, they had to clear out the cemeteries because the skeletons were coming up. You need to reduce the corpses to ash if you're going to burn them.
How long after something dies does it begin to rise?
It varies.
It varies. It could be anywhere from overnight to 6 days.
So the shortest period we know of is overnight.
Yep.
So we don't have to worry about these
Don't have
guys
to worry about
right
that.
now.
But we
But
need
we
to tie
do need
them
to
up.
do something with them later.
And from what you've learned, taking off the head doesn't prevent them from coming back either.
Oh, great. So I have a zombie. I'm going to have a zombie in my backpack.
You might have in there with
Zombie
Shepard,
skull.
because you didn't.
Take Shepard out because that's not happening.
Shepard, stop chewing on that.
That is not happening.
Is burning the only way we can stop the process, or have we learned of any other ways to stop this rising?
Burning is what's traditionally done in Coomridge, because they actually, after all this started, a very large crematorium that is, of course, magically powered because the Aegis family is all wizards, was basically set up for doing that, and it's the most convenient way for them to do it. In a pinch, tying them up to prevent them from going around making more zombies by killing more people can work. Dismemberment does not prevent the reanimation process, but it does. Like if you cut the arms off a zombie, it can't hit you with its arms.
I was just thinking, let's just cut the arms and legs off, and then it's...
A bunch of zombie parts.
Yeah. Well, no, because the arms and legs won't come back. It'll just be the torso and the head that comes back.
Well, you're not. You've been told dismemberment works. You don't know exactly how much dismemberment it is, because everyone who has mentioned this to you wasn't keen to go into the fine details of how to cut up a loved one.
I'm okay with dismemberment.
Well, they ain't a loved one. I take my dagger and start cutting them up.
And I
Okay,
can
you
use,
do that. As
And I
a
can
ranger,
use the.
So that's the three goblin corpses that still have heads, arms and legs off is what I'm trying to do. Because I
okay.
don't think the fourth one will come back without its head. I think the head will come back. I don't think the body will.
There's a scimitar. Use that.
Yeah, they have weapons
Well-
nearby.
Whichever tool he uses, he's going to have an easy time of it, because as a ranger, he has a lot of experience with hunting. I'm not even going to make him do a nature check. He's used to understanding how bodies are put together, so he can take them apart.
You ever dressed a goblin before?
Field
Not,
tripping.
not,
Field
not
tripping.
anywhere near here.
I'm upset the answer wasn't no.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like him. He's sick.
Okay, so that little bit of unpleasantness aside, you have that remaining room that you were interested in investigating.
So I've dismembered these things, right?
You've dismembered them, and you have a head in your backpack.
I clean my blade casually, and then walk into the room that I was in before. Because
Okay.
I know what's in there. It was just beds initially, right?
There is one bed in each room that you've encountered, other than the entrance. But
Okay.
this is, other than the entrance, the largest of the four. It's large enough that it could sleep 4 goblins quite easily, but there's only one bed. There's also a collection of weapons along one wall. More scimitars. They are of dubious quality. They would work, but you feel like if tetanus shots existed in this world, you would feel like you would need one after walking close to one of these. Plenty of more arrows and a few bows. Go ahead and give me a perception check or nature check, whichever one you prefer. You're in a cave at
18.
this point, so it's not your preferred terrain.
No. 18.
Okay, so there are more tracks in here. It appears that most of the tracks that lead into and out of the cave and into the snow, where they're just obscured at this point, come in and out of this room.
Are
and,
they all
and go
goblin
directly
tracks?
to the bed. A few go to the wall, but most of them where the weapons are, but most of them don't.
Are all of the tracks goblin or
Yes.
any of them?
Move the bed.
Move the
Yeah,
bed.
let's check the bed for traps or a secret passage.
You go to move the bed, and you find that the bed is a door.
Yay, winning!
There is a crude rope ladder leading down. The whole bed swivels up, and the bedding falls off of the door as you move it up. But it looks like it was supposed to be made for everything to just stay attached when you lift it up. It's just the intention didn't have a follow through. And there's a crude rope ladder leading down into the darkness.
Darkness.
With
Okay.
your dark vision, it doesn't look like it goes down more than 10, 15 feet before you get down to the next level.
Okay. Let's head down. So
I'll go
Circling
down
down.
after Vex, since I have dark vision too. So,
yeah, the ones with dark vision should go first.
yeah, so we can kind of secure the landing essentially.
Actually, I forget. Do Dragonborn have dark vision too? I don't
I'm
think they
looking.
do.
They do not. I don't think.
I have dark vision.
Uh,
They have breath weapon, damage resistance, draconic ancestry. That's it.
they do
Okay.
not have dark vision.
So, Fenix and Ari are going in blind.
Well, that might change. I do have the light cantrip. However, that might spoil people's vision and would certainly attract attention. I understand that might not be feasible.
Us
who's
get out
the-
first.
Who's the first going in first?
Who's on
Myself.
first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
I hate you.
Stand by real quick, Akari. I'm going to cast Bless on Akari.
Okay, what's blessed to?
You get advantage when you sneeze.
Can I also cast something on Akari?
You bless up to 3 characters of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a 1d4 and add the number of rolled to the attack or saving throw.
Ooh, saving throws. Lovely. I appreciate that one.
Can I also cast something?
What do you want to cast?
I want to cast another protection of good and evil. I mean, of evil and good on Akari.
Okay. And that'll be your
Last
spell.
spell.
That'll be your last spell of the day. But now anything attacking anything evil, which you assume would be anything you encounter because you're fighting goblins, has to roll with disadvantage against Akari as well.
Awesome.
Well, Vex. I'm using screen names instead of character names.
Okay. As I go down the rope, what do I see?
You see, this appears to be a mix of natural cave wall and rough-hewn passageway. Like there was something here already, but they made it wider, and it goes off in one direction to the east from here.
How far along before I start losing vision, or before it cuts off?
It goes relatively straight for about 60 feet, at least.
And then I lose vision.
And then you lose vision.
Okay. I say up that I don't want to attract anyone, but at the same time, I don't want to go down alone. We should do this together. What I suggest is people who can't see in the dark stick close to someone who can.
Well, we got me who's cover.
Yeah, but you can't see.
You can't see though, Logan.
I can go down as well. I can see.
I say all of us come down, but if you don't have dark vision, hold on to someone who does. Hold on to their shoulder or something, or by their arm, or just keep.
I'll follow Sir Metalcaster.
I'll follow Akari then.
I'll take point.
Okay. Well, I've got all these things on me that lets me do saving throws. Do you not want me to take point?
It's up to you. I don't mind going in first, but if you've got all that, help yourself, brother.
Any protection from evil?
Yeah, these people have buffed me up to no freaking end.
Yeah.
Quick curiosity question. I know Vex is over 6 feet. Fenix is over 6 feet. How tall is everyone else?
I'm 4 foot.
3 feet.
5'9".
Okay, because you are going through a cave, so this might come into play.
Hit a rock that's on the ceiling.
You might need to duck every now and then. Maybe not Ponk.
Okay.
Okay, so who's going first? Ponk
I'll
or
let
Vex?
We'll let Vex go first, and then I'm basically like right by his side. Then, so
Okay.
I'm behind him.
The cave is not quite wide enough for you to walk side by side.
okay.
It's
I'm just
almost
right
wide
behind.
enough for that.
Is
Like-
he small enough to fit in my backpack?
We're in lightning bolt
If you-
formation.
If you took out some, if you cut 2 holes in the bottom for his legs to poke through, so he was basically like an infant.
He's got a
Um,
snuggly.
Oh, that would be awesome.
His arms would stick out of the top. His arms.
I
would
will
stick
do
out
that
of
with the
top.
next backpack for you.
Let's all.
Now I need to make art of this with a backpack with Shep's head sticking out the back, and then another backpack wrapped around the front with Punk.
So somebody go to get a picture from The Hangover with the with the baby and the snuggly. Put
Wait,
Punk's face
yeah.
on it.
You know what we should do? We should like put our hands on the person that's in front of us, shoulders. So we
Yeah.
on the other side.
That's what I said, Logan. That's what we're doing.
Okay, you're basically doing a cha-cha line down the cave.
Yeah.
Pretty
Dun,
much.
dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Da,
dun.
da, 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 da.
Okay,
Okay,
going down the cave.
give me a
Slowly.
roll for perception.
20.
Okay, you stop as you see a thin piece of sinew stretching across the cave passage, level about 4 feet off the ground in front of you. And that is high enough that the goblins you encountered up top
Yeah.
would be able to walk under this easily.
My bird probably run away by now.
I tell everyone, crouch. Something.
Right.
There's something that we can't get past. Careful.
I can go first if you want.
Oh, you're a midget. Yeah, you go first. See what's on the other side, but we'll come in after.
Okay.
Drop and be slow.
Can I do a perception check now?
You most certainly can.
Go on, Frodo.
Oh, 1.
Oh.
Okay, so Vex is like, okay, everyone, be careful. I see this thing going across about 4 feet off the ground. Everyone crouch down, make sure you're okay. And Ponk just walks forward like, I don't see a problem. I don't know what you're talking about.
But he's 3 feet.
But up 3 feet.
He basically Mr. Beans his way past it with nothing bad happening to him.
I just kind of look at him and saying, "Thank God you're small."
That's why I wanted to go first, just in case.
Just in case you screw it up.
Yes, but you didn't even see
Exactly.
what the rest of the party was warned about.
Imagine Tom just jumping in the air like, but what's the problem?
Yeah, he
Alright.
swings his arm as he's talking. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I follow him through and kind of knock him on the back of the head. Watch next time.
Throw yourself in next time.
Okay, with Vex pointing out this piece of sinew that goes across the cave at a 4-foot height, the rest of you are either able to see this now that it's pointed out to you, or for those of you who are unable to see at all, you're able to duck down, some of you down a lot further than you needed to, just to be on the safe side and get past it. I'm not going to require rolls for that. It's low enough difficulty that I really don't want to risk a 1.
Like we just got.
Well, that one is okay because he'd have to really screw up. I just
Right.
jumped it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I think I'm not superstitious.
60 feet in front, what do I see?
Okay, well, before you get to the 60-foot mark, you do notice that at the end of that original 60-foot, almost immediately after that, it does look like it opens up a little bit. The left side of the wall, which would be the north side, continues relatively straight, but the southern side, which is the right side, opens up. It's a larger room area, but you can't see anything from where you are now about that room, other than there is you think you see there's a light source, but you can't see the light source.
We slowly keep going.
Okay, give me a stealth check then. Everyone. If you don't have the ability to move stealthily, just give me a dexterity check and tell me the number.
Let's see.
19.
Let me see. I got a +4. That's
21.
23.
18.
$19.
Oh, thank goodness. I was wondering if we were going to have the situation where everyone like, rolls high, and the last person to roll goes, I rolled a 1, guys!
What did Eric roll?
21.
With
Hey, Juan.
disadvantage? Oh no, you don't actually have armor,
No.
do you?
No, you guys have armor. I only have that leather stuff that I still had on it. And
Yeah, I was gonna
No,
say,
even
'cause-
even if because you were there, you weren't playing with us on that day, but your character was there when the guards offered chainmail. But the way chainmail is described in the player's handbook, the chain is worn between leather and cloth, so the chain links are muffled. You don't have to roll for disadvantage when you're wearing
Yeah.
specifically chain. Anything higher up than that, you would.
But he
Yeah.
also said roll a dex check, and that's what I rolled. I rolled a 19. I have a +2 in dexterity, so 21.
So either way, everyone quietly walks and sneaks up, and this area opens up to a roughly 35 by 50 foot chamber. There are various piles of swords, spears, clubs, bows, and arrows. Just like they're not organized. They are literally sitting in piles around this room.
Game over, man. Game over.
Why don't we put the Dragonborn in charge?
In the southwest corner, you can make out some type of ceremonial altar. It's got a lot of animal skulls all around it, so you're assuming it has some type of religious significance.
Can I trick for goblin tracks to see how long ago it looked like there might have been goblins in this area?
Sure. Give me a roll.
17.
Okay, you do see a significant number of tracks, including some that lead right up to the 4 goblins that are standing around a cooking fire in the middle of the room. They have not noticed you, that you can tell. Does anyone here speak Goblin?
Oh, I definitely don't.
I speak Undercommon, Draconic, and Elvish in common.
So nope.
Wait, so you can speak my language?
So no one speaks Goblin then?
Negative.
Okay, so they are definitely arguing about something. That they are arguing very vehemently about it. You're surprised it hasn't come to blows yet. But you don't have any idea what they're saying.
Something about somebody's sister. I don't know.
Yeah.
I notch an arrow and shoot at one of them. That's a 19 to hit.
Roll for damage.
6 points of piercing damage.
The one you hit, you hit him in the chest, and he continues for. Now you don't speak Goblin, so you're not entirely sure, but you're pretty sure he continues for another half a sentence before he sort of looks down and goes, "Oh," and then falls forward into the cooking fire. Well, it was a cooking fire. There was a pot on top of it. He hits the pot and rolls over to the side.
I would like to attack the other one.
Okay, well, at this point, we're going to have to roll for initiative because that was a surprise.
Okay.
Okay, I have my initiative thing recorded. All right, so the first round was a surprise thing. You actually kind of surprised everyone. Like, okay, we're being sneaky. The ranger wants us to be sneaky. The ranger's shooting arrows. Why are we doing this? Oh, we're doing this now. Okay. You were a sword person and I was a gun person, but I guess we're both doing guns now. Just no one told me.
That was a joke from
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, I quote the Baby Groot movies often.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so based on initiative, with his 21, Vex goes first.
I notch another arrow at another goblin.
Give me another roll.
And I get advantage on it because of favorite enemy. Good, because that was a natural 1. That's better. 26 to hit.
Roll damage.
12 points of piercing.
Okay, so you hit another of the goblins as it's drawing its scimitar and reacting to everything. You kind of hit it. You don't hit it right in the center of its mass. It's over to the side, and it spins as it falls down. You're not sure if you've taken it out of the fight or not.
Okay.
Next up is Obaim, and they are not far enough away to cost your entire movement, so you can rush forward and hit them with a melee attack if you want to.
Melee attacks are wonderful, but it's not my thing. So, who is next to me at this particular moment? Oh, pretty much everybody, sorry. Let's see, who is next
For the sake of mechanics, I'm going to say that when he notched his arrow, Vex also stepped forward a little bit.
Okay, no problem.
So you can actually get past him if you need to. You can see past Punk.
trying to figure out who's going to be next. I forgot.
Not me.
Hey, Punk. I'm going to cast Resistance on Punk.
Okay.
It's once before a spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add a number of rolls to saving throw of his or her choice. It can roll the die before or after making the saving throw of the spell ends.
Okay. Punk's turn.
How many are there again?
There are currently 2 standing. One of
Okay.
them is definitely dead. The other one, you're not sure.
Okay, I'll go after the other one then. I'm gonna. Gnomish
I'm
battle
sorry,
cry.
There were 4. There are currently 2 standing. There are 2 that are down. One of the 2 that's down is dead for sure. The other one you don't know.
Okay.
So,
go
Gnomish
after it.
battle cry. I'm sorry, I
Gnomish
talked
battle
over
cry.
your epic moment.
And attack the one that's still standing.
There's 2 still standing, but you attack one of them. So,
Yeah, attack one.
so you run forward and give it an attack. Give me a roll.
18.
That's a hit.
Alrighty. 6 plus 2. Damage here. 8.
You crush its skull.
That's definitely dead.
That is an ex-goblin.
It's not even glued to. Oh, never mind. Ari, you're up, and with the cooking fire, you can make out what's going on. You're not blind.
Oh, yay. Then I will move into the cavern. We got 1 left standing,
Yes.
correct? All right. I'm going to attempt to cast Magic Missile at the lone standing goblin.
There is darkness here if you want to attack that, just in case you need.
Yeah, no, I gave that a pass. We tried that one. Didn't work.
I want to attack the darkness.
All right, 3d4.
I'm thrilled that Chris, even though 5th edition is his introduction to Dungeons and Dragons, I am still glad that he's aware of the classics.
Yeah.
Anybody want a Mountain Dew?
11 points on the goblin.
It explodes.
Oh, I
Yay!
love you
I-
guys.
I helped.
That goblin had 3 hit points at full, by the way.
Just smash its head on.
You did a lot of damage. That was a lot of overkill. Okay, so there are no more living goblins in this room that you can see. There is a fairly large passage to the southeast that you could all walk side by side through that particular passage, bumping shoulders.
Can I
so you
rage-
do it?
Can I
Hold up
rage
before-
loot their corpses?
Yeah. Let's tear them up first before we move on.
I'm just giving you more information about the room that you're in.
Okay.
Let's all just twitch while walking through that big passage.
They had a cook fire. What were they using? Were they using wood or? I mean, do they have any fuel here we might be able to use to say make this fire bigger?
It seems to be there's a little bit of wood in here, but it seems that they are also using dried feces.
Oh.
I knew it.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We'll
You
pass
use
on that
what's
one.
available to you.
Yeah.
So rage looting the corpses. Anything on them?
Well, there is a collection of dice scattered around the cooking fire. Your best guess is they were arguing about one of them cheating.
Oh.
And as you pick up some of the dice and roll them, yeah, they were all cheating.
One of them was cheating.
No, they were
Okay.
all cheating. All the dice are weighted. Every single one.
They
Can I
violated
just-
the 11th commandment.
Can I move the paw?
And some of them, it is very, very obvious. Like they pasted a lead weight to one side of it.
Can I move the paw out of the way and just one by one put them on the flaming poop pile?
You most certainly can. You know that won't be enough to prevent them from coming back, but you most certainly can defile their corpses in such a manner if you so wish.
Right. So there's a larger cavern in front of us. Yes.
Yeah, there's two more things of interest in here. To the southwest is that altar of animal skulls that I told you about. To the southeast is the very large passageway.
Can I check what kind of animal skulls are there? Like what they were actually doing?
Yeah, can I use my investigation roll?
What are you going to use it on?
The altar itself.
Oh, you most certainly can. So the animals are mostly local wildlife. It's mostly deer, one or two foxes.
Tom.
All locally sourced, of course.
There's a couple human skulls. They appear to be old enough that if these goblins are new to the area, the human skulls are not locally sourced.
Okay.
Actually, good to know.
Yeah.
And there's one or two skulls that might even be goblin.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But they're arranged in a very ritualistic pattern. You don't recognize the significance of that pattern. There is, however, a small basin containing several small animal horns that appear to have stoppers on the end that would be open. There's 8 of them.
How many skulls are there?
There's a lot more than 8. There's upwards of 20. Some of them are in front of others, so you'd have to dismantle this to really count.
Anybody think this altar's worth anything to us?
I think whatever ritual they were trying to cast might be of some significance.
Just gonna summon more goblins.
Alright, I was gonna smash it and walk away.
No. Smashing is not a bad thing, but let Eric have a look at it first.
I rolled a 19 plus 4, 23.
Okay.
Was that religion?
That was investigation.
Investigation.
Okay, so far as the altar itself, you cannot discern anything from it so far as if it's supposed to invoke or appease a specific deity, especially with what you know about this world where everyone and their cousin has a different deity that they worship. It's incredibly hard to narrow it down. However, this does appear to be arranged in such a way that the basin that has these small animal horns with stoppers in them are the main focal point of this. They're these little horns. They're like, it's a drinking horn, but it's much smaller. A goblin wouldn't be able to get intoxicated from something that small unless it's really potent whiskey.
Tom will.
I'm not touching it. I just want to smash it.
Okay. At this point, I just say, Punk, smash.
Yeah.
Can I move in front of Punk and judo kick it?
Oh, you both can go to town on this. Both of you give me a d20 roll.
Yes. 20.
Okay, you have given him some loaded dice.
Yeah.
These dice are hacks.
He stole dice from the goblins. Punk, what's your roll?
17.
Okay, so you both pretty much turn the skulls into bone shards, knock over the basin, crush the stoppered vials. There is liquid inside each of these stoppered horns. It's green and it smells something like rotting meat.
I think that's bad.
There's
Yeah.
additional odors to them. Ari, give me an Arcana check.
All right, 17 on the die plus, I think 6. Yes, 23.
You don't know what they do for sure, but you're relatively certain that whatever liquid was in those vials was made using alchemy.
I don't think the goblins are capable of that.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, this was made by somebody who knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Are they maybe using this to in connection with the zombies?
Possibly. I think the Goblin are just the front men.
Yeah.
Fancies.
Is there a way we can keep a sample of this, or there?
If you find more of them.
All right. Yeah. If we find more of them.
But
We probably will.
What you've got now has been trampled by a very angry gnome and an even angrier and larger dragonborn.
Right. I say we keep going.
Important safety
Meanwhile,
tip.
this was an incredible bonding moment for Punk and Fenix.
I'm telling you, we're like the Wonder Twins.
No, they're rocketing Groot.
Yep.
They're rocketing Groot.
I say we keep going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
By the way, what time was it when we entered the cave? Roughly, and how long has it been since we entered?
The sun was dipping below the mountains, so if you hadn't been in Coomridge, it wouldn't have been sunset yet. But there's a pretty good chance the sun has gone all the way past the mountains by now.
Okay.
We're too far in to turn back.
Oh yeah, completely. I'm just worried about exhaustion. We might need to set up camp at some point.
Is that fire still going?
With the possible zombie corpses on it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's still some embers. It's casting enough light that you can find your way around the room without dark vision, but you wouldn't be reading a book.
No, what I'm thinking is if we need to make a camp, if we could, use that, try to add on to that fire if possible.
Well, the bodies are eventually going to extinguish it, but you could.
And then they're eventually going to rise.
All right.
Let's keep going. Hopefully we might find another cave.
I agree.
Okay, so you exit the weapons storage and altar chamber, whatever it was, and go into this next area, which it's too wide to really call it a passage, but it's too narrow to really consider it to be a room. It's sort of a mix of the two. What do you expect if you're walking through natural cave formation? They don't exactly have them built to spec.
No.
You don't even need to roll to see this because it's quite obvious. There is a very sorry-looking wolf that is tied by a short piece of rope so that you could walk around it without it getting to you if you wanted to, tied to the wall. Its fur is matted and stained in various places. In this light, you can't tell stained with what, and it is whimpering.
I walk up to it and cast Speak with Animals at first level.
How close do you get to it?
What's the range on Speak with Animals? I'll tell you. I can speak to. Oh, there's no minimum range. So
basically audible.
Yeah. Close enough for it to see me, but not close enough for it to get me with the rope being taut.
Okay. When it sees you, it tries to snap at you. And then once you cast your spell, mostly what it's saying is a mixture between stay away and let me go.
I respond to it by saying, we're not here to hurt you. We're not the goblins. We're happy to help you. We're happy to get you out of here. What's happening here? What's going on?
Hurt. Pain. Let me go. Hurt.
Okay. I motion over to Obaim. Can you cast healing words or something on it?
I am out of spells.
Oh crap!
I don't think this is. I don't think this is something that is I don't know.
A wolf ally might not be a bad thing. It clearly pissed off with the goblins.
Well, how I still have last week.
Give me a nature check.
Nature check.
Ooh, because that
Vex
can be also-
specifically.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's the one who's gotten close enough.
Gotcha.
21.
Okay. So, it would be metagaming to tell you how many hit points this wolf has. But on a scale of 1 to 11, you would rate it at a 3.
Can I try and calm it so that we can let it free?
You can certainly try.
Animal handling?
That would really be more for domesticated animals, but go ahead and try that at disadvantage. This is not an animal that's been treated well.
Oh, it's not bad. That's not bad. Disadvantage is 13 plus 4, 17.
You manage to get close enough. It doesn't stop whimpering. It doesn't stop saying "let me go, let me go," but it does stop saying "get away, get away." And you are managed to untie the rope from around its neck. The rope is tied as a noose.
Jesus.
And as you are now close enough to untie this, you can see that it pretty much looks like every time the goblins go past here, or at least frequently enough, they'll either throw something at it or kick it. You are able to get the rope off from around its neck.
Can I feed it one of my rations?
As you let go of it to get one of your rations out, it takes off running the way you came. And you can still tell from your speak with animal spell, it's just saying free, thank you, free, thank you, free, over and over again as it runs away.
Squirrel.
It was pretty much done with here.
Let's go kill some goblins.
I think we just did that.
Let's go kill some more.
Yeah.
Mr. Vex is quite pissed.
How are you able to tell?
I'm an angry person. What do I say? Vex is an angry person. What can I say?
And
Welcome to the murder hobos.
And forgive me for assuming, but you've seen very little in here that would keep you from being angry.
All right,
Making Dr. Banner.
So look at our other room where we're at right now. Where else can we go?
This passage continues for a bit longer before passage room, whatever, before it opens up into a very large area. There are various fires, and there's considerable more smoke from these fires in this next room over. But there's also appears to be a side passage that's a bit narrower to the south that you think you'd be able to squeeze Fenix through, but he might have to hold his breath. Maybe you'd need a bit of oil to squeeze him in there.
Butter his hips.
Everyone push as hard as you can. So
Come on, Winnie the Pooh, we'll get you through.
It would be a somewhat tight squeeze for a muscular goblin to go through the side passage, and there isn't much foot traffic going off in that direction. Most of it that you can see in this area skirts around where the wolf was kept and goes into this larger chamber that's to the east.
I can go down that passage easy, probably, right?
Oh yeah.
Could I follow him through? Being
Yes.
a
The
relative
only
slender
person that's
male?
going to have a little bit of difficulty would be Fenix.
Okay.
And he could still probably do it, but it wouldn't be comfortable, and it would take his full movement to get through the narrow spot.
Gotta
Yes,
squeeze them on in.
You want to go for it, or you want to skip it?
Let's two of us go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it worse just the two of us go?
Two of us go. Check it out really quick. If there's nothing there, we leave. If there's something there, grab it and leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so After the narrow spot, it does open into a very large area. Possibly larger than the area that you've just bypassed.
I apologize. I didn't want to interrupt you initially. Logan said he wants to try and squeeze through it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all coming then.
Logan, give me a... I'll say an athletics check.
+3.
What's your base roll?
15 plus 3.
18.
Okay, you managed to not get stuck.
That's good.
Oh god.
And after you go through, it's a bit wider than it was before.
I crushed that.
But you feel like you might want to shower.
I always feel like I want to shower.
What do we see in the room?
This appears to be the primary living quarters for a significant number of goblins. There's a lot of bedding scattered haphazardly throughout. There's one or two small fires burning in here, but not a whole lot. The vast multitude of fires that you've seen were in the room that you sort of went around. There is an opening to the north that goes into the room that you went around that is much wider. Actually, maybe even a little wider than the passageway that had the wolf in it. So this was basically just a side passage that there's a giant pillar in the middle between the two of them. This room is large enough that your dark vision doesn't go all the way to the edges. You're pretty sure it extends off more to the south, but you can't see that far. And it definitely has a side passage that goes off to the west. That you can see it go around a corner, but you can't see how far that goes.
Do we see any goblins?
You cannot see any within the range of your dark vision right now, but you can't see the whole room.
I want to move forward so I can just...
I'll go in kind of the opposite direction of them, just so
Yeah.
we can get like a full scout of it.
Yeah.
Will a cast of light help us out as far as move? Or
It'll disable our 60 feet dark vision, and it'll give us
that's
20
right.
feet of vision.
I gotcha. Okay, very good.
It'll be a beacon for the goblins.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will literally be a walking, talking beacon.
Yeah.
In caves like this, it's dark vision people are doing most of the stuff, and I feel really bad about that.
Yeah.
I don't know, that magic missile was helpful.
I got one left.
That magic missile was
And-
glorious.
And we had a successful Arcana check.
There you go.
And I don't think anyone else has a skill in Arcana, do they?
No.
Yeah, so without Ari, you wouldn't have known anything about those vials. You'd have just
There you
known Fenix Smash.
Right. Do
Okay,
either
so
of us
you
see
send
anything?
further into
Yeah.
the room?
Yeah, we're splitting up a little bit, so he goes one direction to get that
Yeah.
side of the room, I go the other to get the other side of the room.
You hear a squeak and there's some scurrying off to further to the southeast.
Which one of us is closer?
It was a squeak of panic. It wasn't like a mouse squeak.
Run, coward.
Which one of us was closer to that? Or
I
did
would
we all
say
hear
at
it?
this point you're kind of equidistant.
Okay. So I turn to the gnome and kind of signal him the direction that it came from. Do I know the direction it came from?
Southeast.
Southeast. Okay. And start walking over. Slowly.
You do that. You see some very small goblins. Most of them are incredibly small, like toddler for goblin. There's about 5 slightly larger goblins, not wearing armor, holding crude knives in front of them, but standing in front of the very small ones in a protective fashion.
Moral dilemma.
Not for me.
Yeah, that's kind of hard for me and
the Paladin.
me and Fenix. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You're a lawful good, sir. You're probably not going to attack somebody like this, the size.
Heck no, I'm not. Matters.
Obaim, give me a wisdom check. Actually, knowledge check. Actually, no, that would be wisdom nowadays. Just give me a wisdom check.
23 with a plus.
Okay, so your character's origin story is that they are from the Forgotten Realms.
Correct.
There is a saying among the Delzoon dwarves when it comes to raiding goblin warrens. Aye, where's the baby's room? Delzoon dwarves are not entirely upset with killing goblin children, because goblin children grow up. It is probably the most evil thing that could be attributed to Delzoon dwarves.
And
which
that would
one could argue it's not entirely evil because you're killing evil.
No, okay. So, but that wouldn't mess with my alignment at all.
The Delzoon dwarves, the various subsets of them, would not societally look down upon this. Now, if you, as a cleric, chose differently for your moral standings, not all dwarves agree with everything. In one of the more recent Drizzt Do'Urden books, this was actually a concern for Drizzt, because when all of his friends came back, there was some disagreement between him and the other companions about whether or not all goblinoid races were inherently evil and whether or not they deserved a second chance. So it's still up to you whether or not this will be a moral dilemma for you, but not all dwarves think it's a moral dilemma.
Can I do an insight check on the adults? Just to see...
There are no adults here.
I thought you said there was...
There's some larger
bigger
goblins, but they're the equivalent of a goblin adolescent. Now, goblins
Right, so
grow
they're all
pretty
kids.
quick.
We found some tweeners.
These do not appear to be goblins that would be able to put up much of a fight.
I put my weapon away so I don't seem like I'm harmless. I tell everybody to put your weapons down or put your weapon away.
I walk away from them. I walk away from the goblins.
Yeah,
Let's look-
I'll take a step towards him.
I grab the gnome and pull him with me.
Can I make a strength check?
Can I do a strength check?
Yes, you both can.
Yeah.
I think the gnome's going to win.
I got +4.
17.
Wait. Where is my strength?
Fenix, hold the gnome back. Go ahead and roll a strength. I'm sorry. I tell Fenix to hold the gnome back.
8.
Doesn't matter, I got him.
Okay, so
Get your hands off me.
We're not killing children.
So basically what happens here is Punks takes a step forward, preparing to lift his wrench and smash in the brains of these very small goblins. And Vex comes up behind him, grabs him by the collar with one arm, and just lifts him up. And Punk's legs keep moving like he's walking forward, but he's hitting air.
I might take a swing at Vex. Because I don't like as a gnome.
Well, you have an attack for this round. If you want to take a swing at him, you can. But it'll be at disadvantage because I'm counting this as grappled. And you've got to swing in the air to swing around him. You've got to make your body pivot to be able to hit him.
Can you knock people out in this in D&D?
No, we need him alive, or we need him conscious.
Well-
You don't piss me off because then I could rage. So
Oh no!
I have dragon breath.
I do not want to deal with a raging barbarian.
yes,
I will burn fire.
If I get to you first, buddy. Rage is nasty. For now, I'll let it go.
Especially when you're
I'm
3 feet
pissed.
tall.
Okay, so you sort of take a few half-hearted swings, but not with the intention of actually doing
Nah,
anything.
nah.
And you take a few deep breaths. You count to 10, and then you sort of hang there as a dead weight.
Let me go.
Are you good now?
I'm good.
You gonna hurt them?
No.
I put him down facing away from the goblins and keep an eye on him to grab him if needs be.
They're into the room.
We need to keep on figuring out are there any other corridors to this room.
Okay.
We did
so
mess up that room.
You are roughly in the center of this room, not really, but close enough for government work. You can see this room and all of its various exits. You have to the northeast the way you came. Sorry, that's the northwest. To the northeast, you have a very large passageway that leads to those various fires and all the smoke that you could see previously. To the southeast, you have the small collection of children. To the southwest is another passageway that leads apparently into a smallish room, you think, but you're not entirely sure. To the west is another longer passageway that you can't quite see the end of.
Just check that small room and then do the passageway. Sound like a good plan?
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go into the smaller room and you roll for initiative.
Saw that coming.
So we've got, it looks like Vex, then Fenix, then Obaim, then what was Ari's?
11.
Okay, so Ari and Obaim go at the same time. Then Punk. Okay, so that's the order. So as you go in, you see two goblins. You've pretty much caught them flat-footed, which is fine because goblins have flat feet. And Vex gets to go first.
Are they
close
adult?
enough that these are definitely adults. They appear to be wearing tougher armor than the other goblins.
Oh, okay.
And their swords look nicer. And they are very shocked to see you. They weren't expecting you.
Okay. I attack. I shoot one of the goblins.
You stepped into this room and there they were. If you're
Oh,
going to
right.
shoot them, you're going
Okay.
to roll disadvantage.
Then I draw my dagger and stab.
Okay, so you go stabby stabby.
Stabby, stabby.
Give me a roll.
That is a 14 plus 5, 19.
A 19 is a hit.
Oh, nice. Okay. So that's just a d4 plus 6 points of piercing. No favorite enemy is also 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay, 8 total.
8 total.
All right, so you stab this goblin and it screams, but doesn't go down.
Okay.
Oh,
Lovely. Because it was a surprise. If I move
I'm
back,
saying surprise, but what really happened is they rolled really low for initiative.
okay. So if I move back, I'll still get an attack of opportunity on me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stick in melee for now.
For the record, they rolled a 3.
Wow.
Yes. Fenix is up. And these are not children. You don't have a moral obligation to protect them.
I'll attack the goblin too.
Which one?
Yeah, the one that
The other one.
attacked her. The other. Okay.
12 plus 15.
You got 15 total?
No, yeah, well, total, yeah.
Okay, so You hit it with your longsword, but your longsword just sort of like slides against the chainmail that this goblin is wearing.
Ooh.
So it's a hit, but not a damaging hit. Next up, Obaim. And Ari simultaneously.
Let's see. How far am I away from the goblins?
You're all within striking distance. There's a little bit of distance in between, but not enough for your movement to be a problem.
Okay, I'll move just in melee stance next to Fenix and hit the goblin that he attacked.
Question: Are there
Okay.
spells? Is Eric's and Logan's spells still up on me, or would they have ran out by now?
No, it's 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, so they're gone by now.
Actually, no. It in real life time, it's been well over 10 minutes, but in game time, I wouldn't say it's been 10 minutes yet. Remember, combat takes a lot longer to play out than it does in game.
Okay,
A round is 6 seconds.
that's right. Okay.
So the spell's about to wear off, but it hasn't worn off yet.
All right.
Does that mean I have my spell on make still as well?
I'll give you that. Sure.
Are they both concentration spells?
for defense though?
No, it's not concentration.
Cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and attack the one Fenix. Attempt to hit it. I roll a 7.
You don't even hit their armor. Well, I should specify. I said they were wearing better armor. They are specifically wearing chain armor and carrying shields.
Oh hell!
So they have pretty decent AC.
Yes, they do.
I'm down to one big spell, so I'm going to try a Ray of Frost on the one that is already wounded. And that is a 18 on the die, which with my spell attack will go to +6, so that's 24.
You have a goblin sickle.
Kebab.
No, it was a Ray of Frost, so
Yeah.
it's frozen. It looks like an extra in the Batman and Robin movie that had.
Oh, do we have to talk about that one?
Yeah.
Well, this is
Chill.
a cantrip. This is not a spell. This is a cantrip.
Yeah.
It does 5 points of frost or cold damage, and the goblin loses 10 feet of movement until the start of my next turn.
Well, he lost more than 10 feet of movement
Oh, okay then.
because that was enough damage to kill it.
Okay.
You have a goblin sickle.
Oh, good. I guess he didn't have that many hit points left.
Not after getting stabbed. No.
I stabbed it in the neck for 8 points.
Oh,
Let's go with that.
all right then.
Okay,
Here's the next goblin.
Okay, so Punk,
I'm going to attack the other one then.
you do
One
so.
shot at midget.
Give me a roll.
7.
Swing and a miss.
Man.
Okay, so the goblin tries to attack Vex. And because of the spells, I have to go with disadvantage. It does not manage to hit. Beginning
I'm
of
okay
next
with
turn,
this.
Vex, you're up.
I'll go again with the dagger.
Give me a roll.
That's 23 to hit.
Roll for damage.
And that's 4 3 7 plus 9 points of piercing.
Again with the throat stabbings.
Again with the throat stabbings.
It's upset with you.
Understandable. I'm upset with it.
And probably a good reason why it's still standing is you haven't quite pulled the dagger out of its throat yet, but it's definitely still kicking. Some of it quite involuntary, but it's still kicking. Fenix, you're up.
I want to try to kill the one that's right in front of
You
me.
most certainly can try. Give me a roll.
19.
You hit. Roll for damage.
9 damage.
Okay, so basically between your longsword and Vex's dagger, they act like scissors.
Oh wow.
Snip,
Well,
snip.
it was down to 1 hit point after the next stabbing, so that was a significant amount of overkill. So I'm going for the dramatic. We have 2 downed goblins. One of them is still standing because it's an icicle, and the other one has been beheaded.
You said they had shields?
They both have shields, yes.
They decent
Decent.
looking?
Yes, matter of fact, the scimitars look to be of exceptional quality as well.
I would.
Are there any rocks nearby?
Well, you are in a cave.
Yeah, but like loose rocks that I can just grab and pick up.
There's pebbles and stuff, but nothing that you think would be like a sizable, I'm gonna use this rock to pound your skull in type rock.
If there's no rocks on the floor, can I pick up the non-frozen goblin and use it to shatter the frozen one?
Well, let me read the rune description. It's actually the walls are covered with skulls of various animals and humanoids, as in you cannot see the walls. They have covered the walls with skulls, just stacked. It looks like you're in a crypt almost. One of those fancy crypts from underneath Paris or something. In the middle of the room is what is obviously a trap door. There's been no effort to disguise it whatsoever. The door itself is made of stone, so it looks fairly substantial. The goblins that you just killed look strong enough that they could probably do it, but it would take some grunting on their part.
So, can I do that with the goblin? With all the skulls, I'm even more pissed off. Take my frustrations out on the popsicle.
You can hit the goblin with whatever you want to hit the goblin with.
I want to hit the goblin with the other goblin.
Okay, so you pick up the headless goblin and give it the old college try. You've never heard of baseball, but you swing it like a baseball bat.
What am I rolling?
It would be an improvised weapon.
So just a D20.
Yeah.
17.
There is a thud that's sort of squelchy. And the frozen goblin goes down and there's cracks, but it's not in pieces.
Oh well. Got my frustrations out. I'm just going to drop the non-frozen goblin onto the frozen one.
You do so.
Can I just sit down for like a minute and just hug Shepherd?
You most certainly can.
Much love going on here. Much love.
In this time, the various spells that have been cast start to wear off.
Shepherd turns out to be a zombie.
Actually, Shepherd turns out to be trying to use the goblin head, the previous goblin head in the backpack as a chew toy. You put it in the backpack that's pretty much his home. He thinks it's for him.
Oh no, I remember when we first got out, when I
you
put it
took
in,
him
I
out,
took Shepherd
but
out.
when you sit down, your backpack is also down lower, and
Alright.
Shepherd goes back in because he's so used to it. And he's like, "Oh, chew toy."
I kind of keep him away from the head and just kind of hold him. Just hug him.
He whines a little bit and tries to get over your shoulder at the backpack.
No, little guy, you're not. Do I still have? I would still have talk to animals active, surely, right? If it was 10 minutes, because it's a 10-minute spell.
I'll say that one's still active, sure.
I just kind of tell him, no. Zombie head is bad head.
Fetch? Fetch?
Later,
Fetch.
little one.
All right, so this particular area right now, is there anything else around here that we can see that we can use or utilize, or we can go ahead and go out to the other room, or any passages around here? If we
There's only two ways out of this room. The way you came, from which there's two additional ways that you hadn't explored from that larger room that had the baby goblins in it. And there's also the trap door that Vex is pretty much sitting on right now, playing with his puppy.
Oh, okay. Hey, Vex, you want to move out of the way so we can check out the trapdoor?
Sure.
I'd like
Get up. I'm just going to walk over to the side.
I'd like to take a quick kind of look around this room and see if there are any more of those stoppered horns lying about here.
You find one each on the goblins that have been put down.
Oh. Take that.
Any destination as far as where the trapdoor is, or is the trapdoor kind of like...
It's
You
a
know,
solid slab of stone with a rudimentary hinge, you assume, attached on the underside, but you can't really tell from the top of it. It's designed to keep people out.
So no going in.
Well, you can try to open it. You most certainly can try to open it, but it's designed to be hard to open.
All right, let's try to open it. If you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
You can always ask me, the person that broke the wagon.
Well,
That was all me.
anyone who wants to open it needs to give me a strength check.
I will sure open it.
Yeah, I'll try, but you have more strength than I do.
Alright, I'll...
Unsurprising, the wizard takes a pass.
Oh my god! Oh, that's a wonderful roll. Strength check, 19. With, hold on. 22.
Okay, so
So 22.
this is Fenix.
This is Obaim, and then...
Okay, so Obaim spits in his palms, rubs his hands together, puts both hands on the edge of what you think is the side opposite of where the hinge would be, based on how the ground is laid out around it. And you grunt a little bit, and you swing it up, and it flops over on the other side with an audible thump sound that sort of makes the ground vibrate a little bit.
Sweet.
Damn, Obaim.
I was pissed. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what we can see inside here. Where is the position as far as the trapdoor? Is it straight away? Is it where I'm looking at? Is it below? Where is it?
And is it dark down there? Can you
Correct.
actually even see?
Yep. Do you guys want to continue down this way, or we want to go back to the other rooms?
Just continue.
This seems important.
Yeah, let's go down.
Plus, I'm
Okay,
also
so
nervous
as
if we go
you-
back through there, a certain gnome might decide he wants to kill a bunch of children.
That's true. Let's definitely go back. All right, keep on going straight.
So, straight down the trapdoor,
Yeah,
Nah,
what's down there first?
What's down in the trapdoor? Yeah,
What
let's
can
check
we
it out
see?
first.
you see darkness. You see some glowing points of light, like what you would see if a torch had been rapidly extinguished. And those of you with dark vision can see that it opens up underneath the trapdoor, so you can't really see the entire room underneath. There's a lot of blind spots.
So that's how far of a drop is it? Or is there
Maybe-
stairs?
It's about 5 feet drop.
Oh,
Just so you guys know, it is 11:51.
It's 5 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to. I'm assuming you guys want to stop here. If we want to go ahead in the party line, set up camp in this particular area, or what do you want to do?
I think
In-game
that-
time, it's not even an hour after sunset. but we most definitely can put a pin in this adventure and continue next week.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Very good.